You may have seen him on True TV, or you may have seen him headline last week at Caroline's for the first time, which is very exciting. Please welcome Gianmarco Soresi.
My name is Gianmarco Soresi, which is not a typical Jewish name, but that's because I'm Italian Jewish, or a matzah pizza, as some say. Now, others say pizza bagel, but I prefer the term matzah pizza. Although, given really how little Italian I am, it would be more fair to call me a matzah with a little dipping bowl of ragu on the side. It was more a branding decision by my mildly Italian father. So my mother's maiden name is Rothkrug, and she's the one who's Jewish. She grew up in Little Israel, Long Island. And when she was 12, her parents presented two options to her. They said, you can either have a really big bat mitzvah or a really big sweet 16. And she chose the latter, and that was the end of my Jewish heritage. I mean, we still celebrated, the major holidays, Hanukkah and Passover, and I have found many afikomen. But growing up, I didn't identify as a Jew, really. I didn't have a bar mitzvah. I didn't go to Hebrew school. I was a Jew in nose only, I would say. But then a couple of years ago, a friend told me about the Birthright Trip. And I'm sure many of you know about it, but if you don't, so Israel does this thing where just because you're Jewish, they will pay for a full 2-week vacation to Israel. Room, board, activities, which felt kind of fishy. It's just if you just imagine for a second, if the Catholic Church started offering free 2-week vacations to the Vatican, I'm not going to send my kid on that trip, I'm just saying there's no such thing as a free birthright, okay? And my friends, they warned me, they said, look, this is all going to be propaganda. And, I had my own complicated feelings about Israel and about Judaism. I mean, some of the things I've read about the Hasidic community just here, oy maron, it makes me very upset. But on the other hand, it was free. And I also, I was 25 at the time, and I really was at a stage in my life where I wanted to connect to my Jewish roots, because it's other than being Jewish, what am I? I'm a straight white male. And any groups formed around that fact, they tend to be hate groups. And that's just not my scene, personally. So I applied, because not everyone gets in. But my application was basically a phone interview, and this is verbatim how that interview went. They said, who's Jewish? My mom. Did you have a bar mitzvah? No. How often do you go to temple? 5 times. This year? My whole life. Do you accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior? And that's where they try to get you. True, they try to catch you. Like you would do in middle school to see if someone had a crush on someone else. You'd be like, just answer, don't think. The sky is blue. A cow goes moo. You're not a Jew. Shit! Don't fall for that, and you're as good as Gelt, I promise. So I passed the test, and me and a bunch of other New York Jews schlepped all the way to Israel. And let me tell you, this trip, I was not untouched. Okay, it means disappointed. I don't know if you were paying attention earlier. It was a good trip. All I'm saying is it was an amazing trip. I rode a camel. I ate some of the best hummus of my life. I floated in the Dead Sea. And I even finally got my bar mitzvah. So what happened is our tour guide for this whole trip was actually a Hasidic rabbi named Shlomo. Yeah, the real name. Yeah, and Shlomo looks like Shlomo sounds. He was 6 feet tall. He was 6 feet wide. It's like if Frosty the Snowman, instead of a snowman, he was a matzo ball, and then you just put on the hat and he came to life. That's who Shlomo was. What was amazing about Shlomo is he grew up like me. He grew up like a not really a practicing Jew, and then he went on his birthright trip and decided to become Orthodox. That's how good this trip is. I'm sure he was just eating some of that hummus, and he was like, I could grow my sideburns out. I could wear a coat all summer long. That seems like a good idea. So early on in the trip, what happened is we went to the Western Wall. And, the men and the women separated. There's a divider, but then we all sang and danced, and some people told a prayer at the wall. I didn't do it because it felt like if I did, it would be sacrilegious. I don't know. It didn't feel comfortable. But as we were leaving, Shlomo said to me, "Oh, Gianmarco, you never had a bar mitzvah. Do you want one right now?" And I was like, why the hell not? 25 seemed like a good time to become a man. And so he gathered everyone around, and obviously it was a speed bar mitzvah, but we covered all the major points, cha-cha slide, electric slide, baby got back. That's a joke, but he told a little prayer, and then someone even found a chair. I don't know where they got it from, but I got to do the thing where I sat in the chair, and they lifted me up, and I remembered when that was happening that when I was in college, there was this acting professor that I loved him. I just thought he was this great teacher, and he would do this thing to break fast on Yom Kippur. He would have all the Jewish students to his house, which was exciting when a teacher brings you to the house. You're like, oh, you're a person. And he would have all the Jewish students to his house to have this amazing meal, but he never invited me. And it was horrible because it felt like I wasn't practicing, but this is who I am. But when I was there and I was just like getting bounced up and down in that chair, and I had just been bar mitzvahed at the Western Wall, I was like, you know what? Fuck that professor. I'm a fucking Jew. I'm a fucking. Second they set me down, I went to that fucking wall and I said a fucking prayer. For the rest of the trip, I just I embraced it. I leaned in. I listened to all the lectures as intently as possible. I went to a mikvah. I had sex with an Israeli soldier. I did Israel. I really did it. And the last day of the trip was a Friday, so we had this epic Shabbat dinner. I mean, it was amazing. The Manischewitz was flowing, and I think they had run out of activities, frankly, because at the end of it, Shlomo announced to everyone. He said, "Okay, what we're going to do? We're going to gather everyone in the common area, and we're going to play. I call Stump the Rabbi, where you can ask me anything you want about Hasidic Judaism." But what Shlomo didn't know is that when I play Stump the Rabbi, I play to win. So he gathered us all in the common area. He opens the floor to questioning. My hand shoots up, but he calls on this girl named Lisa instead. And Lisa was like, if anyone's going to convert to Orthodox after this trip, it's Lisa. And then Lisa's like, okay, Shlomo, why do you separate the meat from the dairy? Which felt like a real softball, I was like, what do you think, this is a fucking game? Come on, Lisa. So Shlomo answered, and I don't know what he said. I wasn't paying attention, but the moment his lips stop moving, my hand shoots up again. He says, Gianmarco, the bar mitzvah boy. And I was like, stop blowing smoke up my ass, Shlomo. Answer me this. How do Hasidic Jews feel about homosexuality? Yes, the room made a similar sound. And then Shlomo explained for the next 20 minutes to a group of liberal New York Jews that when it comes to homosexuality, Hasidic Jews, they're not going to have a float in the parade. Not a fan. And I'm listening to this very convoluted answer. I'm hearing all these grumblings around me, and so I just do one more question just to finish him off. I say, and also, why can't a woman become a rabbi? And that's when Lisa joins in. She goes, yeah, why can't a woman become a rabbi? And then it's just chaos. People are screaming, they're crying. Shlomo is speechless. So I think it's fair to say, I won. I stumped the rabbi. Guys, thank you very much.
Yum's the word.